Hi, today we're talking about how to read like a college professor. We're going over chapters 1 and 2. Chapter 1,
Every trip is a quest.
Chapter 2, Nice to Eat With You, Acts of Communion.
So in chapter 1, I'll be talking about the 5 key components, such as the quester, a place to go, a stated reason to go there, challenges, and the real reason why the quester went.
And in my chapter, I'll be talking about introduction to family dinner, correlation to the Bible, not all dinners mean community, dinners with enemies, poisoning, trust, and even death.
Every story has its own unique plot, but what if I said they're all just the same exact approach to storytelling? This approach can be known as the quest. The quest has 5 key components, as stated before, and this can be applied to any novel or narrative. For instance, in this story, a boy named Kip went to the supermarket to buy some bread for his mom. Now, there's nothing much about him. It's not like he has any superpowers or anything. Next, he encounters an agitated German shepherd and discovers the girl of his dreams with Tony, his nemesis. As he was about to go grab the bread from the shelf, he suddenly makes this significant decision to fake his age to a Marine recruiter. Though it means getting sent to Vietnam, he knows that doing nothing would not exceed his desire for a change in his life. Now, this story may just sound like an average boy going to run errands, course, but if the story is taken apart, it actually follows the rules to a quest. So in this scenario, our quester is Kip, also the protagonist, and he had to go to the supermarket. His stated reason to go there was just to buy bread, and some challenges he went through was an unpleasant encounter with a dog and Tony, the antagonist. Lastly, the real reason to go. Now, not to get this confused with the stated reason, because the real reason for a quest is always self-knowledge. Whether or not the character successfully completes the quest, the character went through an important learning experience either way. Other examples of quest narratives include Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Huckleberry Finn. And though these well-known novels have different storylines, characters, etc., also have the same organization of events, which follows the components of a quest. And now, just because these novels follow the same structure, it doesn't take away the fact that they're still unique or distinctive in their own way and learn to tell a great story.
Dinners mean community. So, what am I saying here? Basically, community shows that people are getting together. Now, as I've stated before, all eating has a symbolic message towards it, but basically, community means getting together as a whole, and that's not necessarily the exact point. As we see in stories, people invite other people to dinner, even if they don't like them. They do it to show either kindness or having a sense of like a frenemy value, or it could also be something like they want to kill them. All books and all dinners mean something. There's not a dinner that doesn't, and they all come to the center of the Bible. They all relate to the communion, breaking of bread, basically having a memory together. Now, this memory could be good, maybe it could be bad. But basically, what it shows is respect for each other. So it could have a sexual background, it could even have a family background, or even enemy background. Books, we have dinners with enemies. Now, as I've stated before, I said that all dinners and all meals resemble communion. Now you might be confused, why would someone have a dinner that resembled communion with an enemy? Well, as I said last time, not all communions mean that people like each other. It could mean that they respect each other, they might be enemies of each other, or basically they're just getting together and eating. Now, it could never simply mean just that. So, our major point here is the mafia, and that was like the only point they really brought into it. Basically, in the mafia, Don in the mafia would invite people over to his house, and then he would kill them. So basically, he's taking advantage of communion, something that can be seen as innocent and something that people get together for, and turning it to his advantage of doing bad things. Death and poison. These might seem like themes or motifs or something that has an element to a story, but mostly they're elements to eating. So in eating, we see that you need trust because people are giving you food and they can tamper it and do something bad to you for it. Eating shows community, shows trust. As we see in many examples in the book, it could have sexual reference. Basically, in the 1960s, there were many movies or in books that showed that people trusted each other in the way they ate and basically liked each other, showed it through eating. Death. A major role that I would like to pull in personally is death row. So people who are put in death row, what is something they usually always give them? A last meal, because a meal and food is something that people enjoy and everyone has to do. And when you have your last meal, it's something to send you off as closure. And poison, um, it's been referenced in many movies and many books and many TV shows. Poisoning has happened, and usually it's put in someone's drink or in someone's food.